Well, I thought maybe that the first question I'd ask is, what does the Reconciliation Action Plan mean to Sydney Water?
For me, it means that we're finally taking seriously the role we have and can play with First Nations people. And we're committing to take a suite of actions which we can review and make sure we do take and we follow through on, to start to not only learn from First Nations people, but to play our part in improving their position and addressing the inequality they face across so many areas.
Yeah, I would completely support that, Bruce. And I think we have a very special place in the community, and we've got this possibility to really have an impact in a number of different things. Obviously, an impact in the water cycle and the country itself, but actually we can have a really significant impact in terms of helping all our people and partners to learn a bit more about First Nation people, to understand the differences and to understand how we can live together in a lot better way. And also we have the possibility really to offer opportunities for First Nation people in terms of employment, but also in terms of procurement and partners and suppliers. But because we obviously we have a number of employees, but we're also using a lot of partners in what we're doing every day, and opening that to First Nation people companies makes a lot of sense, because then that really can be a win-win, where we can learn about a number of things and at the same time we can provide opportunities.
Great. I know you just sort of touched on it a little bit at the end, but I'd like to sort of get a sort of clearer picture definitely from the start, when conversations first started about the Reconciliation Action Plan. But what do you guys expect from this RAP plan for the future?
So if I dialed forward a couple of years, where do I hope that we will be? We'll be in a position where far more of our employees identify as being First Nations people, who are proud to do so and step up the contribution they make to our thinking around, as Roch said before, how we best work with the waters and the lands that we work on. I hope that we'll see a far more significant relationship with First Nations, Indigenous companies that have formed to provide services, not only to ourselves directly as Sydney Water, but also to the partners that we work in as we build out so much of Sydney, and particularly Western Sydney. I hope that we've got multitude of examples of how we've learnt from and adapted the way we develop and work as we build out Western Sydney in particular, from our First Nations colleagues, just applying their experiences of looking after water, of trapping water, of recovering water, and dealing with all those runoff stormwater issues, so that we can have a better outcome and look after our environment much, much better. They're just three ideas that are in my mind, but I'm tremendously excited by the opportunity that the Reconciliation Plan presents for us. It's been well thought out. It's had a lot of engagement across the business, and I'm hopeful that if we put that into plan, that we'll certainly take a huge step towards far better outcomes for ourselves and for the First Nations people that we're associated with and whose lands we work on.
And I would absolutely support that. And probably the only small thing that I would add is that we would also have created 2,500 or 3,000 ambassadors for reconciliation.
Yeah, that's a great point, Roch. And I know, speaking from the board's point of view, we've had a number of engagements on country with First Nations people, getting up the curve of understanding the culture and the history and the pain as well, so that we can equip ourselves to make better decisions around things like the RAP and other plans that we're contributing to signing off to into the future.
Yeah, and that's a journey, and this is really great that we've started the journey now, and there's a lot of people committed and motivated to make it happen. So that's good, and as you've said, the actions that we've got in the plan will definitely help us to progress.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some pretty cool points there. If you don't mind me asking, is it something in the plan to sort of consult with Indigenous communities about how Sydney Water can, you know, benefit the environment a little bit more and other aspects?
There's a number of opportunities in the plan for people in Sydney Water to connect, to learn, to connect and to consult in the execution of our daily work, frankly. There's very direct actions in the plan about using, as I said, our sphere of influence. We have enormous footprint in Greater Sydney and beyond, and we have an enormous amount of say in Greater Sydney and beyond as we provide such essential services. And that gives us a unique position to influence and to carry a message, but also to consult in how we shape that message, which is what the plan asks us to do.
Mm. Yeah, and look, I think what's really good to see is that we've already started, and I was attending last week a workshop which was about Upper South Creek Advanced Water Recycle Centre, and this workshop was not about discussing technology or architecture or procurement or whatever. The workshop was actually with First Nation people to discuss on how the project would impact the land and how we could work together so that the project was really a win-win for First Nation people, the country and the water in the land, and obviously all our customers in the future. So and I think that's a very concrete example of the sort of actions that we've got in the Reconciliation Action Plan that will help us as a water corporation, but also as individuals, to connect to the First Nation people and understand what is important in terms of land and country, and how we can really merge what we're doing every day for our customers with what is important for First Nation people.
Great, thank you so much. Is there any final message you guys would like to say about the RAP?
I mean, my message on this would be that I encourage everybody in the business, firstly, to read the RAP, to have a look through it and see how you can make a difference in the execution of it. It's not a difficult read, and the actions are very close to what we're trying to do. And if Sydney Water individually and collectively embraces the RAP, will, as I said before, make huge strides forward. So I would encourage you to understand it, get to know it, and to work with it, and to join us in the march towards better outcomes for First Nations people and for Sydney Water.
Yeah, look, we've got an absolutely fantastic document with the Reconciliation Action Plan. It's been done in consultation with a number of people, but the success of it will depend on the implementation by everyone across the business and with our partners. So it's really now up to every one of us to make sure that we do the implementation as much as we can, because this is really something good to do, good for the community, good for the First Nation people, and good for every one of us.